Welcome to Rocky Mount Christian Church. Welcome to the Monday, Thursday Tenebrae Service. It's called a service of shadows. This service unfolds around scriptural readings, referred to as the 7 last words of Christ. These scriptural readings are the 7 shadows. The shadow of betrayal, the shadow of inner agony, the shadow of loneliness, the shadow of desertion, the shadow of accusation, the shadow of mockery, the shadow of death. Following each shadow, each reading, we will all sing responsively, Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison, Kyrie eleison. Thank you for coming to this solemn service in Holy Week. Rick Stafford, our cantor, and the choir will present this to you now. Please sing the responses with the choir as we demonstrate. When evening had come, Jesus sat down with the 12. Now, as they were eating, he said, "Assuredly, I say to you, one of you will betray me." And they were exceedingly sorrowful. And each of them began to say to him, "Lord, is it I?" Jesus answered and said, "He who dipped his hand with me in the dish will betray me. The Son of Man indeed goes just as it is written of him. But woe to that man by whom the Son of Man is betrayed. It would have been better for that man if he had never been born." Then Judas, who was betraying him, answered and said, "Rabbi, is it I?" When Jesus came to the place, he said to them, "Pray that you may not enter into temptation." And he was withdrawn from them about a stone's throw. And Jesus knelt down and prayed, saying, "Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done." Then an angel appeared to him from heaven, strengthening him. and being in agony, he prayed more earnestly. Then his sweat became like giant drops of blood falling down to the ground. The shadow of loneliness. Then Jesus came to the disciples and found them sleeping and said to Peter, "What? Could you not watch with me 1 hour? Watch and pray, lest you enter into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak." Again, a second time, he went away and prayed, saying, "O my Father, if this cup cannot pass away from me unless I drink it, your will be done." And he came and found them asleep again, for their eyes were heavy. So he left them, went away again, and prayed the third time, saying the same words. Then he came to his disciples and said to them, "Are you still sleeping and resting? Behold, the hour is at hand, and the Son of Man is being betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us be going. See, my betrayer is at hand. The shadow of desertion. And while Jesus was still speaking, behold, Judas, one of the 12, with a great multitude of swords, clubs, came from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now his betrayer had given them a sign, saying, "Whomever I kiss, He is the one, seize him." Immediately he went up to Jesus and said, "Greetings, Rabbi," and kissed him. But Jesus said to him, "Friend, why have you come?" In that hour Jesus said to the multitude, "Have you come out as against a robber with swords and clubs to take me? I sat daily with you, teaching in the temple, and you did not seize me. But all this was done, that the scriptures of the prophets might be fulfilled." Then all the disciples forsook him and fled. the shadow of accusation. Now the chief priest, the elders, and all the council sought false testimony against Jesus to put him to death, but found none. Even though many false witnesses came forward, they found none. But at last 2 false witnesses came forward and said, "This fellow said, 'I am able to destroy the temple of God and to build it in 3 days.'" And the high priest arose and said to him, "Do you answer nothing? What is it these men testify against you?" But Jesus kept silent. And the high priest answered and said to him, "I put you under oath by the living God. Tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God." Jesus said to him, "It is as you say. Nevertheless, I say to you, hereafter you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the power and coming on the clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his clothes. Witnesses, "Look, now you have heard his blasphemy for yourself. What do you think?" They answered and said, "He is deserving death." Then they spat in his face and beat him, and others struck him with the palms of their hands, saying, "Prophesy to us, Christ. Who is the one who struck you?" the shadow of mockery. Pilate answered and said to them again, "What then do you want me to do with him whom you call the King of the Jews?" So they cried out again, "Crucify him." Then Pilate said to them, "Why? What evil has he done?" But they cried out all the more, "Crucify him." So Pilate, wanting to gratify the crowd, released Barabbas to them, and he delivered Jesus, after he had scourged him, to be crucified. Then the soldiers led him away into the hall called the Praetorium, and they called together the whole garrison. And they clothed him in purple, and they twisted a crown of thorns and put it on his head, and began to salute him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" Then they struck him on the head with a reed and spat on him, and bowing the knee, they worshipped him. And when they had mocked him, they took the purple robe off of him, put his own clothes on him, and led him out to crucify him. the shadow of death. But he said to him, Lord, I am ready to go with you both to prison and to death. And he said, I tell you, Peter, the rooster shall not crow this day before you will deny 3 times that you know me. And he said to them, when I sent you out without money, knapsack, or sandals, did you lack anything? So they said nothing. Then he said to them, but now, he who has money, let him take it, and otherwise a knapsack, and he who has no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. For I say to you that what is written must still be accomplished in me, that he was numbered with the transgressors, for the things concerning me have an end. So they said, Lord, look, here are 2 swords. And he said to them, it is enough. Coming out, he went to the Mount of Olives as he was accustomed, and his disciples also followed him. When he came to the place, he said to them, pray that you may not enter into temptation. Saying, Father, if it is your will, take this cup away from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but yours be done. Then an angel appeared to him from heaven and strengthened him. And being in earnest agony, he prayed even more. Then sweat became like great drops of blood falling down to the ground. When he rose up from prayer, he had come to his disciples. He found them sleeping from sorrow. And then he said to them, why do you sleep? Rise and pray that you do not enter into temptation. And Jesus said, "It is finished."